million Americans who have not chosen to do the Real ID, and all 110 of them and everybody else should choose never to do the Real ID. If you already have one, if you've got a gold star on, go and get a standardized driver's license. If you're afraid of flying, go get your passport. But do not take the Real ID, because the whole idea here in the state of Pennsylvania asked Trump to shut down this program.
Yep.
They called it a usurpation of states' rights.
Yep.
The federal government has taken over driving and identification over the entire country. And they're going to take all of your primary identification documents and keep them for themselves. You're going to have to give them your social security number, your birth certificate, and your marriage certificate, and they will hold them. They've never had them before. You are essentially recertifying yourself as an American, and then they want to put this and digitize it, put it on your phone, and be able to shut down your access anytime you do something they don't like. This is not a simple ID card, and this is probably going to move into the global UN identification system that the UN wants to create for the entire world. This is your opportunity to shut this down. There is a public comment period for the next.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noah's in his gospel about lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. What you see on the screen at the top is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. She basically went into the whole concept of the New World Order. About how it's called the UN something act. I keep forgetting the name of it, but basically, long story short, she's broke down on how the U.S. sold the sovereignty of the United States over to the UN, and in a time of a calamity, they can, undergo to have authority and jurisdiction over your public records, meaning your medical records. And as you hear in this video here, I'm not sure who this lady down is in the right-hand corner, but she's basically going into this whole concept of the Real ID. Now, I remember they was talking about Real ID back in 2017. Because I remember when I was taking a trip to Florida a couple of years ago. And I was doing a lesson on it, actually, because that same day I had to go get my driver's license update because it expired that day. And I was doing a lesson on a whole Real ID, on how it was supposed to have been mandated before 2020. I think they was talking about like October 2018, 2019, at the least 2020. They was going to mandate this whole Real ID thing, which basically tells your time in real time. But see, what happened was, and as the lady is explaining it, basically they had to perfect it, because now this whole Real ID is basically going to tie into like a social credit system, as we've been hearing about, like they do over there in China. So these infrastructures are being set up to all enforce and coming under the umbrella of the MOTB systems, okay, which is going to be a digital system. And this is why everything is going digital. This is why they want to set up 15-minute smart cities, like allegedly Hurricane Eileen and in the Carolinas, the North and Southern Carolinas. I believe they said that it was like lithium under the earth or in the earth, and they have to wipe that place out to be justified on setting up 15-minute smart cities to kind of concentrate people into these digital prisons. And what is the chances here that the whole Real ID is coming back to surface? Because 5, 6, 7 years ago, they made it seem like, just a particular ID that can trace and track in so-called real time. But then again, they lied and say, well, it won't track you. But in order to have the Real ID, or in order to travel through airports and travel abroad, you got to have that thing, man. And they wanted everybody to have this whole concept of this ID, as if having a driver's license or a state ID, a birth certificate, passport isn't enough information for these devils. But instead, they want to be able to control everything you do, the way you think, the way you sleep, the way you eat, the way you breathe, the way you take a bowel movement, who you having sex with, who you not having sex with. These devils are real sinister, man. And this is how we know that we're at the end, because This is part of Esau's New World Order. So if you read here, and it's going so fast, but it reads here, it says, and so there are about 110 million Americans who have not chosen to do the real ID, and all 110 million in everybody else, and I could play it again, but I don't want to have to be redundant. So choose to never do the real ID if you already have one. Or if you gotta go, man, fuck it. I ain't gonna do that. Let's play it again.
So there are about 110 million Americans who have not chosen to do the real ID, and all 110 of them and everybody else should choose never to do the real ID. If you already have one, if you've got a gold star on, go and get a standardized driver's license. If you're afraid of flying, go get your passport. But do not take the real ID, because
well, this is the thing. It's not the fact that people, I mean, you got some stupid people out there. Okay, there's a lot of stupid people out here that will take it because, you know, people are just that fucking stupid. But overall, they're going to coerce people into taking this, man. Okay, they're going to set up certain systems in place that's going to direct people to take this thing. If they don't take it, they won't be able to get on a plane. They won't be able to travel. And there's going to come a time that if you don't take the chip, you ain't gonna be able to work. You ain't gonna be able to have food. You ain't gonna be able to have a job. You ain't gonna be able to have a place to live, drive a vehicle. This is what's happening. Okay, so she's saying don't take it, and yeah, that's the ideal of it. But the real idea is not the MOTB. But if you can refrain from getting that shit, then please do so, because you know this is all conditioning to get people to accept that mark, man. Real ID, social credit systems, or social credit system. The MOTB, the digital banking system, all this shit is gearing over to the New World Order, as Dr. Sherry Tenpenny broke down about a week ago, man. And we've all done lessons on it. Now, what I found out, too, is that whoever got Bank of America, they said that they don't know if it's a cyber attack or it was some type of glitch. But anybody that got Bank of America, basically, a lot of people is in a zero range, meaning their money is not in their accounts, you know. So whatever they got to do, they're going to have to fix the system and put the money back. But this is all a prelude for something bigger. Okay, they're trying to see how people are going to react when they reset the currency, because eventually we all going to wake up one day and we ain't going to have any money in our bank accounts, or at least that we can access. So all these particular strikes and, you know, these mandates that they're trying to come up with is all to set up the MOTB, man. All right, same thing with the strike. Allegedly, the strikes down there in, on the East Coast, allegedly, I believe in Vermont and some shit, I think it got violent. And then find out that Amazon may be going on strike. But I don't know how true that is, because I actually got something coming from Amazon tomorrow. But nonetheless, man, these are the times we in. Yahweh Shimi Hawashai is making moves, man. And hey, you other camps, you can't see that this is the prophecy that the scriptures were speaking about, then you may not be a man of the Lord, man, all right? Okay, you got guys out here that's worried about doing debates and selling Israelite merchandise before they're talking about this. This is, the world is getting ready to shift over to something outside of we've never done with before. And you're going to have to opt in to take it, or you're going to be on, you either going to take two sides. You either going to be on the side of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai and don't fuck with this shit, or you're going to be on the side of the devil, man. And if you choose the side of Esau in his New World Order, the Most High is going to destroy you. Point blank, period. There's no fucking ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why you simple niggas are doing debates and talking all this shit. Motherfucker debate. Start prophesying, man. You know? So let's get a couple of precepts real quick. This is the book of Sirach 39:1. And it reads, it says, he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation there will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy, okay? What does it mean to be occupied in prophecy? Meaning to be focused on something. Like they say, well, he's preoccupied or occupied in something right now. Well, occupation means a job or something that you are of career interest. Okay, so the root word of occupation or occupied is occupation is occupied. And they say, what is your occupation, or what is the prophet's occupation? And it's to do the work of the Heavenly Father and foretell something before it comes to pass. So we supposed to be on that kick, not doing 1,000 debates, debating Christians about the new covenant, when we already are well aware that we're getting ready to enter into the new covenant upon Yahweh Shai returning. Okay, we don't need to do that breakdown 10,000 times, all right? We don't need to continue to try to teach the Christians. The Christians don't know. The Christians are lost, man. Like the apostles always say, and I echo this statement, the black church is the biggest joke in the world, man. All right? Just the the church, period. There's no truth in there, you know? So to hell with them niggas, man. Let them be destroyed. But it says, and he would keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he would be there also, and he would seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. And to be conversant in dark parables meaning to go into these prophecies, man. Okay, this is a dark parable right here. And a parable is basically like a riddle. You know, like when you speak in parables, you speaking in code. So therefore, the people that you're speaking to, they don't understand it because it's not formed. Like the disciples asked Yahushua, they said, well, why dost thou speak to them in parables? He said, it's because it is given to you to know that the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, and to them, and it's not given. Okay? So we supposed to be focusing on these prophecies here. Nothing more, nothing less. And it says, and he should serve among great men and appear before princes. And I'm going to say this too. That's not to say that we don't go into other things. Of course, the scriptures say eat the whole world. So yeah, we are to go into other things. We are to teach a new covenant. We are to teach against false doctrine. We are to do all those things. But right now, prophecy is screaming off the pages, man. Okay, this whole real ID shit is nothing more but a step closer to the New World Order. And this is basically what Sherry Tenpenny was going into. You know, how the United States sold your alliance over to the UN. And if this current administration assumes if this current administration ends up being the new administration, then you better believe the next crisis, to some magnitude, you will see some type of martial law on the streets of America eventually. And all you niggas out there, especially you black women, that want to put this bitch in office and say, well, you know, we thought she was for black people. Nah, nigga. We told you niggas from Jump Street that no party, period, Republicans or Democrat, none of them have your best interests of you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? But we told you regardless, man, since you want to put your faith in a known Marxist, your sovereignty has been signed over. Okay? So when the next ordeal comes down or the next pandemic surfaces, then, hey, you better believe that the UN and public health is going to assume the jurisdiction over all you people. And you people going to take it because you going to, why not? You took the first one, right? You know? So, yeah, man, we ought to be focused on the prophecies, man. All right? Hold up. Raise up prophets, because the Most High raised us up in these last days. That's how you know we at the end of this thing, man. All right. This is the book of Sirach 36, and I'm gonna start at verses 12. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 11, because this is the time we at. It says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them from the beginning. We're seeing the tribes come together. It says, O Yahweh, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. And O be merciful to Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest, and fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory, and give testimonies unto those that thou hast possessed, which shows you we under righteous possession, right? It says here from the beginning, and this is talking about actually us being the Lord's people. Okay, because when you possess something, meaning that you have control over the mind or over the body or over the spirit, but we are a possession of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He owns us. Okay, it says, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name, and reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. So when this comes to pass, then hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to give us our reward. And you people that kind of mocked us and scoffed us and call us conspiracy nuts and all this other psychobabble, hey, you're gonna be in pitiful case, man. Okay, you're gonna be ashamed, because out of all the time you spent scoffing and trying to make the bag off these people in your congregation, that ain't gonna get you into the kingdom, man. In fact, it's gonna get you destroyed. All right, Ezekiel 33 and 33, it says, and when this come to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. And then again, you got people that still try to discredit us. Well, everybody know that. Y'all just Like one beanbag head nigga gonna say something. Y'all just reading prophecy. Y'all ain't prophesying. How the fuck are we not prophesying when we telling you what the prophecy say? The whole concept of us breaking down a prophecy, dickhead, is because Yahweh Shai gave us the understanding. Okay, read Revelation the 5th chapter. Okay, when it says that, because the prophecies were written, but the prophets didn't really understand what they wrote. So we don't have to come back and rewrite shit we already done wrote. We're breaking down what we didn't understand over 2,000 years ago. So yes, we are prophesying, nigga, because we're telling you what these prophecies meant. Stupid ass. For anybody that said, oh, well, y'all just reading prophecy. Yeah, we're reading the prophecies, but we're breaking them down, telling you that it's going to come to pass, okay? So we are the prophets, man. We ain't got to write another 2,000-page manuscript what we already written just for it to say the same thing. It don't work that way. Stupid niggas. And it says here, when this come to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that it have been a prophet among them. So you're going to get a man of the Lord that credit, whether you like it or not. Okay, we're going to get our credit, and that's just the bottom line. But ultimately, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, they're going to get their credit, because it ain't really about us. It's about the Lord. Okay, it's about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, okay? We're afterthought to them. Then we're going to get our credit. Okay, Yahweh, we can't get our credit until Yahweh Shai gets his dibs first, man. You know, off the time, you know, I won't say we do it intentionally, but sometimes it feels like we almost superseding Yahweh Shai, because we always say, well, we gonna get what we gonna get. But what about what Yahweh Shai gonna get? What about his glory? What about his king? He the one that defeated death. We didn't defeat death yet. He defeated it. Now we already have the victory over it because of his blood and because what he's done, but we still have to walk through the process, man. So Yahweh Shai is the one that deserves all the glory, all the praise. We don't deserve shit. He deserves it. If you want to be frank. All right. Anyway, I was going to bring this out. I should have brought this out first because, I mean, basically this goes into Esau playing God. So anyway, I can bring it out for edification purposes. But Ezekiel 28:2, it says, O son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus says the Lord Yahweh, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, I am a God. I sit in the seat of a God, and in the midst of the seas, which is the people, the nations, yet thou art a man and not Yahweh, though thou set thy heart as the heart of a power, man. Okay, and that's the point. That's the point we're making. So Esau Edom, with this whole new system, this digital system, that's gonna make him as a god, man, because he's gonna be able to trace, track, monitor everything you do. Okay, a carbon footprint. You know, and that's what this whole new world order concept is all about. But the good news is that the Most High is not going to allow it to come fully to fruition, because if he did, then shit. But nope, that's not the purpose of the Lord. He's going to destroy this nigga right in the midst of him getting ready to get this new world order madness off the ground, man. All right. Matter of fact, let's go from here to Job 20. Wait a minute, man. I always get Job 20, Job 18, and Job 5 mixed up. Yep. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprises, right? And how he's going to disappoint it? First and foremost, by throwing monkey wrenches in it. Second of all, raising the men of the Lord up with the power. And third of all, he's going to destroy it through ICBM nuclear fire. It says it says he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, because this is nothing but witchcraft, man. Okay, and the counsel of the fort is carried headlong. It says, and they meet with darkness in the daytime, and they grope in noonday as the night. But he saved the poor from the sword, and from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. You know, and that's these damn devils in his lifetime. They're the mighty right now. But it says the counsel of the fort is carried headlong. And what's the counsel? As we were just looking at the video, that NWO. You know? One more precept, and I'll end it. And I'll play the video one more time just to make it make sense to you out there that may be new to this thing. Job 18. And all these chapters are good. But 20 is what I'm looking for. Job 20, and I'm going to start at 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits, meaning troubles. He's in troubles now. This is why this is why you have different scenarios. See, the elites, they have what if scenarios, okay? If one scenario don't work, like prime example, when they knew the bill wouldn't pass as far as signing over the sovereignty because it's unconstitutional, they snuck it in there so people didn't really know about it. So therefore, if people didn't know about it, by default, it will pass. That's wickedness, man. Same thing how they do around the Christmas break. They pass these laws and shit where nobody's privy to them. Same thing about now, all of a sudden, if 100 people of Congress or in the Senate dies, and they can just replace it by default without any election. See, that's that folly. But it says here, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits, which is difficulties. Going back to the point I was making, you know, he have all these other plans, but if one don't fall through, then he goes with the next script, so to speak, that will kind of play out to his favor. You know, like the whole Icky Vicky 2020, it didn't go as planned. A lot of people didn't drop dead like they thought. So they was like, okay, well, plan B, in case plan A didn't work. That's them straits, that's them troubles. And every hand of the wicked should come upon them. And the wicked goes into the laborers, us, okay, the laborers. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High should cast the fear of his wrath upon him and should rain it upon him while he was eating. Meaning when he's getting ready to fulfill that new world order and to finally microchip everybody, then this is when the Most High is going to jack his ass up. And he should flee from the iron weapon by going into them bunkers, space stations, and the bow of steel should strike him through. It reads it is drawn and coming out of the body, and yea, the glittering sword coming out of his gall, and terrors are upon him, man, which represents those nuclear missiles coming out of those silos, you know. But anyway, I'm going to end it, giving all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. Lord's will, you were edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.
The whole idea here, and so there are about 110 million Americans who have not chosen to do the Real ID, and all 110 of them and everybody else should choose never to do the Real ID. If you already have one, if you've got a gold star on, go and get a standardized driver's license. If you're afraid of flying, go get your passport. But do not take the Real ID, because the whole idea here, and the state of Pennsylvania asked Trump to shut down this program.
Yep.
They called it a usurpation of states' rights.
Yep.
The federal government has taken over driving and identification over the entire country. And they're going to take all of your primary identification documents and keep them for themselves. You're going to have to give them your social security number, your birth certificate, and your marriage certificate, and they will hold them. And they've never had them before. You are essentially recertifying yourself as an American, and then they want to put this and digitize it, put it on your phone, and be able to shut down your access anytime you do something they don't like. This is not a simple ID card, and this is probably going to move into the global UN identification system that the UN wants to create for the entire world. This is your opportunity to shut this down. There is a public comment period for the next